like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who can bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GGB Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LDBC. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, look in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, man. So, Ticket TV, like, share, subscribe. Salute to everybody that's tapped on there. Y'all already know what it is, man. And let's get right into this. Shout out to A Weapons. He read Midlife Music on the track. And let's get right into this video, man. As right now, the head coach for Sheduer Sanders and the Cleveland Browns has been fired. The Cleveland Browns have fired Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, after allegations of sabotage towards Sheduer Sanders. And basically, a lot of people had a lot of disparaging things to say about this coach. They haven't been pleased with, I guess, the direction he's been going in with his team the last few years. They haven't been pleased with him selecting Dylan Gabriel over Sheduer Sanders and wasting games on Dylan Gabriel when Sheduer Sanders was 3-4 as a starter and everybody else was 1-9. A lot of people, felt the way about that. And also, there was the game where after the game, he basically shrugged off Sheduer Sanders in the post game, in his first victory, as a quarterback. And a lot of people felt the way about that. Then you had the just atrocious play calling where he had to give up his play calling duties because, he wasn't competent, according to what a lot of people thought in the football world of play calling. And so he's had a lot of stuff going on against him, man. A lot of people have had bad things to say about this guy and alleged towards this guy. But the biggest thing they alleged, again, was sabotage. They alleged that he tried to sabotage Sheduer, taking him out of games and situations all the way from the preseason. They said he took him out of the game and didn't allow him to finish the game and try to make a run down the field in the fourth quarter. And the games where he took him off the goal line just to put in, some running back at quarterback for the plays to blow up in his face, and just a whole lot of stuff, man, that this guy had been alleged of doing to try to destroy and tear down Sheduer Sanders. And so now this whole situation has come to an end. This morning, this man, Kevin Stefanski, was fired and relieved of his duties as the Cleveland Browns head coach. And now they will be conducting a search for a new head coach if they don't already have one, from what's being reported. And so, this guy Stefanski, got the last couple of wins behind Sheduer Sanders. He got the most wins he got this season with Sheduer Sanders starting. And so, people want to have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? If Sheduer Sanders plays well and they lose, they didn't win. But if Sheduer Sanders plays okay and they win, it wasn't because of him. Or if Sheduer Sanders, doesn't play well, but they win, they still mad. It's like you want to win, but you're still mad when you win. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? But Sheduer Sanders did produce the most wins out of any of the other quarterbacks they had in that league. And so now we will see if Coach Primetime Deion Sanders is in the mix. We are going to see if he is in the mix with this situation. I told you guys, I thought this is a situation where I thought that he should just come on, and because he's the one who knows his son the best. And to me, he's the one who knows, that, look, I know what my son can and can't do. What I'm saying, I know nobody can accuse anything of sabotage or anything like that. And, there'll be an opportunity for him to be that again. You know what I mean? And so, we'll see how it goes. I don't, what I'm saying? I don't know what Prime is thinking, but I know Prime had to cross his mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, you know, uh, the Browns having a very good defense from what they say. And, a few pieces away, they're saying, on offense from being a real contender. So is that enough? If, the Browns are interested in Coach Primetime Deion Sanders, is that enough to get him from Colorado to come over there, even though he said he wouldn't coach in the league, but it's your son? You know what I'm saying? And he's always coached his son until now. So, what is that? It's a connection. That the owner was letting him come down on the sidelines before the games. Prime was, down there on the sidelines. He gave well-off media full access to the facilities, which I thought was a great move for the owner to make. And so, it made a lot of people out there uncomfortable that stuff was going on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that they did. You can see Sheduer, he expressed himself in the last week by being real flashy with the clothes, the shoes, the hoodie. It was like he finally, it's like, okay, look, man, I can just be me. Sometimes it's just got to be that way. Sometimes you got to be yourself to be the most successful version of you. When you don't feel like you can be yourself, man, some people can't be successful trying to fake it. You got to let people be themselves. And I think sometimes, you get into these entities and they don't want to allow people to be themselves. And that is a real problem. You understand what I'm saying? But I think now we're looking at a situation too, is where, there's going to be some slow singing and flower bringing and furniture swinging in this situation. And so I truly think that we are at a situation now where Sheduer Sanders was going to have an opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? Potentially with a new head coach. You know what I'm saying? And so, a lot of people have been trying to throw allegations at Sheduer and trying to say this, trying to say that, things that they don't hold other former great quarterbacks up to. But it was already proven that in Peyton Manning's first 7 starts, he threw 8 touchdowns and 14 interceptions and had a lower QB rating than Sheduer Sanders and wasn't as mobile as Sheduer Sanders. Sheduer Sanders ran for 110 more yards. So make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want to talk about that. If you go back in time and you look at that time when Peyton Manning was the rookie, people might have been saying the same thing about him at that time. He is number 1 overall pick. So people coming out of Tennessee, so people might have thought, hey, man, this dude's a bust. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You just got to look at it like that, because I know that's how people had to been thinking back then about Peyton Manning. So, yeah, most def. Y'all definitely got to let me know what y'all think. Got to let me know what y'all feel, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Y'all showing love. Y'all already know what's going on. I never seen a fan base as shitty as the Cleveland Cavaliers fan base, so mad that a team won a game. They're mad that this team won the last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? These people are clowns. They cry about losing, but then when you win, they cry about that. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like Sheduer Sanders said, man, it ain't nothing but a cesspool of negativity and hate over there in the media in Cleveland. And it's disgusting. It really is. It really is. It's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? That Cleveland Browns fan base, their media base, I should say. The media, I should say. I ain't gonna say the fan base, the media. That media is so negative, it's so sickening and disgusting. I listen to some of those guys, man. They're sick, disgusting individuals. So, yeah, definitely. Y'all let me know what y'all feel, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Coach, fire. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drought weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in
and cop you some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.